So coming out here early this morning, I really did get an early start. I don't see a drop of gas in the pan. It's been sitting in the pan basically for a whole day, a whole night and a whole day. So I hope that's all set and we're ready to put the tank and seat on the bike, get it run, maybe shoot some pictures. We're planning on making up some personal t-shirts for this project. I can't wait. It looks like we're going to be able to get this done today. And the only other project Karen has scheduled for me is to get the rest of the cushions put on the lawn chairs. She's wanting to have a cookout soon. Get the grill cleaned. Probably another week or two we'll be done with charging the batteries in the battery tender and be ready to start riding every day. And the final thing, the mirrors, painting them black. We'll wait for the first rainy day because I'm really not happy the way these mirrors. Here's what I don't like about them. I don't like this, you know, the writing on here. And I just want them to be shiny, to be honest. So that's another one-day project. We're probably 2 days away from maybe 3 days. If it's always an extra day for something. And this project will be in the record books. And then he'll be ready to take his place in the pitching rotation here for the whole summer season. And we're looking forward to having a good summer season. Hope you'll enjoy sharing it with us. And it was interesting to see that some of our other friends are planning on shooting videos this summer. Hey, Scott, I hope you do, and share them with us. But of course, before we start anything serious, anything work-related, we've got to get liquored up here. Looks like I only have one eagle keeping me, and he's not even keeping me company this morning. Get out there and work on a bike. So it looks like our little repair worked perfectly. I don't see a drop of fuel. The bottom of the tank's dry. It's been sitting 24 hours. I'm excited. The next step is to get it put on. This is where it's very handy not to have 6 gallons of fuel in the tank. To maneuver it around without scratching it, looks like we got it on fine. Now, whenever I'm installing the tank, the fact that it's not full of fuel and it weighs 50 pounds or whatever it weighs when it's full, just makes it a little bit easier. Less chance that you're going to wind up scratching the paint or whatever. But we are done with that part. Now the last thing is I want to tape up the seat. I want to really tape it up too. Because getting the seat on here, it's very difficult to get it. An FZR is a difficult bike to get the seat on and off without scratching it. So I'm going to get some blue tape. Try to make it as scratch free as possible. Get the overflow hose out of the way. One thing good we don't have to deal with anymore is the hooking up that. Now I don't know. Anybody that has an FZR knows if you disconnect and we found this out the hard way, if you disconnect the EXUP valve and unplug that wire, it never runs over 4,000 RPM. So we know that that's a tentative problem. Maybe the way this is wired, that'll be a problem, and I'll have to make a jack plug or jury rig it or something. But for right now, I'm going to test it with no sensor there at all. And we're finally starting to see what the bike looks like all in one piece. So the tape is only to protect. There's some relatively sharp angles and edges here, just to save the seat a little bit. I know because the original seat I chipped up many times and had to touch it up. And now the one thing about this bike, that's one of the shortcomings of having this seat, not the dual seat, you don't have a place to put the tools conveniently. And you have to get the seat off if you did have a place to keep the tools. So what I have is I always keep the wrenches. You need a wrench and an Allen wrench to take the seat off. Keep them in the radar detector bag. Okay, that looks like that'll hopefully work. I have blue tape on this side of the seat too. But again, this is a little bit of a tricky thing to get this on. Hopefully that worked. Didn't pick up any, and nothing on the bottom here. Okay, now with the test fit on, I wanted to make sure that there was nothing that was going to be a problem there. So far so good, but you never know. There's always something interesting happening here. There we go. Now when I do the FZR, the way this is, there's a little clip under here. I always zip tie where it snaps over, because if this unsnaps up, the seat slides right back. So a zip tie is always your best friend. Now it's really a small detail, but I really think this is something that's really important. In fact, I should remember how to do this after doing it 1,000 times. It's a small safety thing, but the way this is, when you have the seat cowl option, and this is made to go on with a key in the back, but we don't have the key, we just use a screwdriver. So this is just this. Now that will hopefully not come off. A small little detail, worth doing, even if you're using the key. And I do both sides. So now we can do the fit with the seat. We know it's going to slide on, hopefully, without scratching the paint. All of these hopefullys. And now, before I put the bolts in, I want to take all the tape. I actually should take the tape off right now. Be easier to get it off. Now the only thing left is to bolt the seat on, get the bolts in the back, and there's a couple more little details to do. Now these bolts, I always use lock nuts, and I have to carry the wrench again on the radar detector, because if I ever have to take the seat off to jump the battery or whatever, that's a real problem. So I always would take that. If I didn't have a radar detector, I'd have to use it, keep it in your pocket or something. We finally get to see it in one piece, bolted together. Well, all I can say is that's really exceeded my wildest dream, and from the day when I started that concept sketch till today, it's been a great adventure. And I hope it's an adventure you've enjoyed sharing. But like every adventure, this one isn't over yet. We always consider the rides with our friends, the fun we have, poking fun at people at Perry's, hanging out on a mountain, group rides. That's the only reason we do this anyway. And he very soon will take his place in the pitching rotation as we come into the full baseball season. I just think these two, I didn't even plan this shot. These two, the evil twins. Okay, there is another little detail I want to take care of. If you look down at the brake caliper, I have that little Yamaha emblem to install there. I want to heat it with a hairdryer because it's still pretty cool out here. Put that on. I'll just dress up the back of it a little bit. Now, considering how much time we have, and I think I've estimated that we have just under 800 hours in this project so far, and we're not done yet. I still want to paint those mirrors. I wasn't real excited about seeing that writing on them. This is just parts cleaner. Get that cleaned up. I'm going to warm that up with a hairdryer before I put this on. You really should make sure this is good and warm. It's still not below freezing, but it's cold out here. Nice little compliment. It's these little details that, to me, they just make the whole project worthwhile. The little details, the wheels. hand buffed wheels. And those little stickers, I have them on several other bikes, by the way, and I've always thought they're a nice little touch. And speaking of some of the parts that exceeded my wildest dream, the decals that John Pothier came up with for this project, absolutely perfect. It's really exciting to me to see this project in one piece now. And get those mirrors painted. I'm not sure we're going to get that done today, but I will get it done. I'm real disappointed in that little writing. I don't know why. See, it's little details like that. They annoy me. Well, maybe they annoy you too, but we're trying to take care of even the smallest little detail. And the famous saying everybody always says, ah, you'll never see that. Don't worry, you won't see that. Well, you know, I see it anyway. And to know we have the historic registration in place, never have to pay for another registration. Well, that's the cherry on the sundae. A free motorcycle. And it'll be very comforting to know I can see who's behind me. Especially when that radar detector goes off. Coming up on 32,000 miles. I think we have a lot more. Now I gotta put gas. I gotta put more gas in this. It's number one. And then if it does warm up out there, I'll get out there and take it up to the gas station and fill it up. Now I like to look at the final product from a lot of angles, what I like, what I didn't like. The stripe, the ladders, I thought came out pretty good. The color separation with the multiple stripes, I was happy with that. The decals, absolutely pleased. The wheels, off the chart nice. The lighting part of this seemed to have worked out great. Now, better than I thought. No, I just keep emphasizing this whole thing where the stripe ends and it carries that curve down. I didn't even think about that. That just happened. But boy, from various angles, that is the focal point of the bike, how that scoop just comes down in the front. Again, all in the eye of the beholder. I've always liked the look of a stripe going right down the whole motorcycle. And I think on this one, it accented it pretty nicely. I actually wanted to take some pictures for our upcoming t-shirts, but here's the problem. No matter, the sun is in the wrong angle here because it's still early, and what happens is the camera's just getting, I gotta wait for some shade, in fact. But boy, I'm trying to pick an angle that I don't like it from. And the main thing is, the selling feature is the gloss, the high quality paintwork, the polishing came out nice. Boy, I'm overwhelmed. I think I'm going to celebrate and have 4 more cups of coffee today. And one of the next things I want to do is spend some time on a photo shoot. If I can get Najat or Sarah across the street, come take some really high quality pictures. Make some nice enlargements for my shop. This project has kept me busy for 800 hours. And the thing about a project like this is you can't put a dollar value on it. You just can't say, well, X amount of dollars buys it for you. Because if you haven't done the work, it's not exactly the same. And one thing I know, because I've ridden this bike enough, it is a very, very fun bike to ride. It's comfortable. I've got the right bars on. Now I've got the right mirrors. I've got rid of the black windshield that I couldn't see out, a carbon fiber windshield. Be able to shoot some nice video with this in the future. That is really the culmination of 800 hours of work right there. And really, only you can decide if it's worth it. If it's not worth it, don't even think about it, because it is a tremendous amount of work. And it's the kind of work you have to do with complete passion. You can't do it with the idea you're going to save time or cut corners, or it's an all-in project. Now, today's not going to work out to be a riding day for me. Just isn't going to work out. We got family stuff to do. I have to take my son-in-law to the airport, keep him busy. Wow. He hasn't seen it yet when he gets back from his business trip. He's been seeing it in drips and drabs down a cellar, but he hasn't seen it in one piece yet. But this isn't really the end of the adventure. It's really the beginning. And I hope if you've watched all these videos, or a lot of them, I hope you've enjoyed them as much as I have being involved in this project. It's been a big part of my life. I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed sharing it. And I hope you'll continue watching us as the adventure unfolds. Now we can ride it. The video's over, but I'm headed up to the gas station to get some gas in this baby. It's only got a gallon of gas and I'm itching to ride it. But family stuff always comes first. Anyway, thanks for watching.